We're about to dig a big line of holes so that we can put all these lily pillies in to create a lily pilly hedge. At either end of it there'll be some gates, so hubby's about to get started on the bobcat. Go. That should be enough, I reckon. Thought I'd walk around and give everybody a little garden update. As you can see, we got hard at work last week and we planted all these lily pillies, so we're going to have a hedge all the way along here to break the two halves of the yard up. And I picked up some of these claret ashes on clearance and popped them in. So we've got 2 claret ashes down here, 3, sorry, 1 over there, just at the edge of this garden, and then the orchard's over there. Got a farmer drop off a couple of big bales of pea straw here, which we're going to spread around the rest of the orchard so that we can try and subdue the weeds. And we've been hard at work in the top garden, putting some more plants and that in. And I've also got, I think, about 2,000 bulbs coming this week, which Albie sort of knows there's a few. So going to have to dig up a whole area to put all those bulbs in. So hopefully over the next 12 months, if you follow our journey, this place will become unrecognisable as all these plants start to take off and all the gardens start to establish. So I'll go for a bit of a walk around, show you where everything's at, give you an update on what the garden's starting to look like. This is the orchard area here. We've got all these under dripper. I'm about to go and buy some more stone fruit. They should start bringing out the bag stone fruit soon, so buy a few more stone fruit to put in the orchard. This mandarin here was going great. and it looks like it's dying. So I'm going to give it a spray with some white oil. I don't know exactly what's attacking it, but if anyone knows anything about citrus and knows why my mandarin trees all of a sudden decided it's going to die, I'd be happy for you to leave a comment, because I don't exactly know why it all of a sudden decided that it wanted to kick its heels up, but hopefully I can keep it alive. So this area here between the fruit trees there and the row of apple trees down there, I'm gonna fence it through a garden area, and this should have flowers and vegetables in this area here. So we're gonna fence around it because we get hares and rabbits in here, so that they don't eat everything I put in here. So this is one of the projects, because I have got 500 ranunculus corms that are coming that I've got to start, and then hopefully I can have beds ready for them to go into here. This section here is going to have the lily-pilly hedge with a little gate to come through, and this will be a gravel path. I'm going to have standard roses and then some bush roses along this side, and we've got the roses on this side which are climbing roses, so that will hopefully be a wall of climbing roses there with some small flowers and that down the bottom here. This will come down. I picked up these crepe myrtles for $20 each last season on the clearance, and we picked these up the other day, which are pink crab apples, for $30 each at our local nursery. They tend to sell off stuff that doesn't look ideal, which is great for us because we've been able to pick up some really established trees for not a lot of cost. So we'll walk down here, and then there'll be a path round to the other garden bed. So coming up from the orchard and the roses, we'll come up a walkway here. We'll reinstate these garden edges and up onto this flat area. This area will go under grass at the start of next spring. So we're just going to keep leveling it out, bring in some good soil to put on top, get rid of all these rocks. And we've been really working on these garden beds. So there's a lot of proteas in there, put a few trees in, and we'll continue to add to these gardens over autumn and winter and into early spring. So hopefully by next season, this will look a lot better. You can see this guy here didn't like the 43-degree heat. We're going to keep him in there because he's still got some signs of life, but we just don't know. It is frustrating because there doesn't seem to be any real rhyme or reason. This guy's here's dead. The guy alongside him is doing great. So as you can see over in the other garden, most of them are doing great. We've lost one or two, but we're just going to keep at it, replace the ones we've lost, and hopefully they've got long enough to establish this time to see it through the next summer. This area here is probably one of my favourite areas of the whole yard. It's under the big pine trees and it's well shaded. I've put some hellebores in, hoping that they like where they are. So far they seem to be doing okay, so if I can get them established, I think this is probably a really good location for them. Oh, and the garden tour wouldn't be complete without taking you guys for a walk through the dahlia patch. It should be really getting to the end of its season now, but we've had such a late flush of heat through summer here in South Australia that it's probably just starting to take off. So as you can see, everything's doing magnificently, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that we can have another 3 weeks of good weather ready for Mother's Day so I can cut some of these and hand them out for Mother's Day. But I'll take you for a walk through here, show you some of the dahlias that we've got in here. I'm like super impressed with how they're actually going because the start of the season was pretty ordinary. Look at this guy here. How rude. Seriously. He has no place in my garden. This little guy needs to be relocated to somewhere else because he's not going to feast on my dahlias. Okay, now in the tunnel here is all plants that I have grown from seed this year. Did a bit of an experiment, put some in the tunnel and some outside to see what did better. This is the other side of the cut flower garden. So we've got a lot of statice here. We've got another lot of sunflowers in which aren't flowering, but fingers crossed they do start to flower in the next 3 weeks. I love this hedge. There's actually there's a creeper through this hedge. I think it looks really good with the two of them together. And it's just interplanted with some statice all the way along. So fingers crossed, they look like they're just starting to form heads, some of these sunflowers. So within 3 weeks, hopefully we've got a whole heap of sunflowers here. We're hoping anyway. And this garden here is full of zinnias. So we've got zinnias all the way back there to the cosmos. These are all starting to flower. So hopefully once again, in the next couple of weeks, we have a sea of zinnias here. And they're all in flower with the dahlias and the sunflowers, and hopefully we get some cosmos. I did notice I've got one little cosmos flower, whole heap of little buds on, so fingers crossed the cosmos starts to really put on a show in the next couple of weeks. This is pretty much it for the garden. It isn't everything I'd hoped it would be this year, but considering the illnesses and the fact we're renovating a whole heap of houses and we've got everything going on, I'm more than happy with what we've got. So I think, you know what? Whatever season you're in, plant what you can, enjoy what you've got, and there's always next season to improve. It's my one little lonely cosmos flower here. Hopefully in the next week or two there'll be a whole heap more to keep him company. This section here under the pine trees is probably one of my favourite parts of the garden. I really just love coming here and sitting under here in summer. It's so cool, and you know, you get to see the flowers and that. I'm working on what will work in the shade here because it's mostly in the shade. It does get some morning sun, so I'll put the hellebores in. I'm thinking I'll probably get away with some hydrangeas. So if anyone's got any suggestions on what will grow well here under the pine trees, I'd love to hear it, because I want to sort of have a nice cottage look around here, intersperse some plants with what's already here. So if you've got any great suggestions for shade lovers that I can't kill, I'd love to hear. And last but not least is my caged veggie patch. It's done really well this year actually. I definitely need to get in there and weed. It's a bit overgrown, but I think everyone's is at this time of year. Everything's done well, kept the possums out. They haven't been able to get in there and eat everything, and yeah, that's been a real success. Grown the beans there has been really good with the 40-degree heat to help shade the dahlias and block some of that wind, so I'll definitely do that again. And the fruit trees are really taking off, so another one of Albie's jobs is we're going to arch the top of this next year so that they've got more room and it'll allow them to spread out a bit. So that's on the list for next year. Let's see if we get it done. I think that's about it for the garden tour. So that's an update. I'll probably do one more before the season's over. For all those people that are into plants, this is what we've been up to. For everyone else, we'll be back on renovating and we'll have plenty more of that to come. You're watered? Yeah. Everything's done? Yeah.
Fucking knackered.
Are you?
Yeah.
Shall we go home then?
Let's go and load this stuff at the other house.
What other stuff? Oh, the plumbing stuff. Yep.